Welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham and welcome to my show. And guess what? CNBC this morning comes in so fire because they just posted a brand new episode of, wait for it, Millennial Money. And this one seems to be a little bit different than some of the other ones. Look at the title of this. Living on $175K a year in New York City and Georgia. Wait for it, Millennial Money. And I couldn't help but read the description before clicking on the video, and it says, Brianna Johnson, 29, earns $175,000 a year as a full-time nanny for two families, one in New York City and one in Atlanta, Georgia. That is incredible to make that much money as a nanny, and I'm wondering if she gets free housing too. She gets to live in the house for free and gets to make bank. So with that said, guys, let's all do our part to smash the like button, and boom. Oh, okay, that felt good. Just smashed it, and let's get our 4 free stocks down below in the description when you deposit $100 on Webull. And with that said, let's start the video here.
My name is Brianna Johnson. I am 29 years old. I make $175,000 per year, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and New York City, New York.
How does she do taxes on that? That's got to be brutal to file 2 tax returns. Guaranteed, that's what she's got to do.
I am a nanny.
Gorgeous. Look at that house. That's the thing with some of these areas. Like, look at the beautiful stonework and the house. That's gorgeous. I bet in Atlanta, this place would be like 300 grand. Las Vegas, it might be like 500,000-600,000. LA, it's like $7 million. It's gorgeous though.
Pre-COVID, my schedule was 1 week on in New York and then 1 week on in Atlanta.
Look at the New York City family. Look how much they spend. $130,000 a year base salary. Guaranteed she's getting little bonuses and holiday gifts and stuff like that on top of it. Atlanta family, $30,000, and then side jobs, $15,000, travel nanny, and newborn care specialist. I wonder if she's ever going to have any kids on her own. Why have kids of her own when she could just get paid $175,000 a year to take care of other people's kids?
So usually I'd work 7 days straight in New York City, and then in Atlanta I'd work anywhere from 3 to 5 days.
Ooh, that's gotta be a big hit though. To only work in Atlanta and not to have that $130,000 a year base salary play into it. Yikes.
The New York City family is continuing to pay me while I'm not working with them. Whoa!
I'm so curious who the kids are now in New York City where a family could just afford to pay $100. I mean, it makes sense that if you have a nanny like this is like, and they become like a part of your family after a while. You can't just say like, oh, no, sorry, we're letting you go. You can't do that. Especially with the kids. Like, I think it's so important to have like the same figures in their life, probably the first 10 years or so. I don't know, I'm not a child expert here, but I would imagine that she's a part of the family at this point, so they can't just let her go like that, but wow.
So for them, it was really important to kind of stay at home and stay in place. And so they've let go of a lot of their staff on paid leave. And I'm in contact with them every week. They know that they want me to return, and so they're paying me in hopes that I will return to them.
In hopes. Oh, of course she's going to return back to them in hopes. No, absolutely she would. They sound like such amazing employers. Why would she not return back?
Hey! And as I was nearing graduation and I was looking and considering teaching, I got my first teaching offer and it was very low. And of course I had like student loans and things. So I wasn't quite sure how I was going to pay that off, but I discovered nanny agencies, and it was like a whole new world opened up where I discovered like nannies can get paid benefits and full-time hours and like guaranteed hours, and that we can travel and live in. And so once I discovered that, it was easy for me to like quickly decide that I was going to be a full-time nanny as my career.
I love that. I gotta say, this is thinking outside the box. This is someone who's taking matters into their own hands, realizing that like teaching a whole bunch of students, it pays a fraction of what she's making now as a nanny. This is fantastic. I think these alternative career paths are so important to make this much money. All she needs to do is just save this for like 15 years, and she'll have enough money invested where she could really just live the rest of her life doing whatever she wants, even if she has like a part-time job.
My dad, he always worked 2 jobs. He always worked in insurance and he was a waiter. And that kind of instilled that mentality in myself as well. And even now, if I lose one nanny job, I have another nanny job. And so I think it's just been really important for me to have that and just that financial security that it's brought to me It's been great.
I can't say a single bad thing so far. We're almost 3 minutes into this. I only have good things to say about this. She is so smart. I totally agree with the two jobs thing too. I was very much the same way. Was working as a real estate agent, then started buying rental properties, and then I had 2 sources of income. And then eventually, after doing that for so long, started making YouTube videos. That was a 3rd source of income. And then after YouTube videos, started making multiple channels, different income sources, and selling a program, linked down below in the description. There's so many different ways to make money. I think the more income sources that you have, the less reliant you are on just one, and the more money you're probably going to make overall. I think it's a very smart thing. She's doing the right thing.
I wasn't making what I wanted to make, and so I applied to another job that was also, it was week on, week off, and they offered me $120,000 per year for just 1 child, same schedule, housing provided, things like that.
Wow, $120,000. You know what the crazy thing is, guys? I'm being serious. People go to like MBA programs, PhD programs. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their education to make what she was offered in that for 1 child, for 1 family in New York City. It goes to show you that I think formal education, expensive college degrees don't always have the best ROI. I'm not saying that she wouldn't have got to where she is without some of those credentials, because I believe that's essential. But you could tell she just seems like a really sweet person. And so it's no wonder she's doing so well.
So I came to the family that I was working for in New York City, and I let them know that that was the schedule that they were providing, and they offered a $60,000 per year raise with the agreement that I stay with them long term.
Wow, they knew the value that she was bringing on, so they're like, all right, we gotta up this. We were getting a good deal from the beginning, but now we gotta pay up. Wow, amazing.
And I did not in any way expect them to offer such a large raise, which is why I was prepared to quit, because I didn't want to ask for that. But they were happy to provide what I needed to stay, and that included things like flights and hotels on my off weeks, and just some great benefits that I didn't have before. And it made it an easy decision for me to stay.
Those Yeezys? Guys, she buying Yeezys? What is that? What are those shoes? Those have got to be a few $100. Okay, so maybe those are 400 give or take. Okay, well, she could afford it, guys. Maybe that was a gift.
Being a live-in nanny both in New York City and living with the family in Atlanta, I'm not charged any rent or utilities. At times, it can definitely be stressful. Initially, especially setting up both my place in New York City and here, I have like double of everything, so that's double the expenses.
Makes sense, but if she doesn't have any housing expense at all, I hope she's saving so much money. I really hope she's saving like 80% of her income. Let's see.
The most important lesson I've learned about money is having a budget. It's critical. If you don't know where your money is going, it's really difficult to save or pay off debt or even know what you have coming in.
Yeah, let's look at this, guys. Ooh. Did not expect this. Look at this. The biggest expense that takes up over half of her budget, debt repayment, $4,325, student loans and credit cards. She is making enough money never to go into credit card debt in her entire life. I don't know what is so important that she can't just pay that off in full. Student loans, I could understand that. I could understand if student loans were a part of her getting this job and making this incredible salary. That's not okay. This amount is too high, so that's bad. Next, savings, 1925. Simple IRA, Roth IRA, digit. What is digit? Right off the bat, she should be saving she honestly should be saving at least like $5,000 a month, maybe $6,000 a month. So this is too low. Food, $700. That's private chef. Eating out. Private chef. Private chef. I don't know why she needs a private chef if she's living in someone else's house. Don't they typically provide food? Too much money. Therapy, $400 a month. I think that's fine. A good therapist, I think, could be worth their money by far. Beauty and clothes, $280. Not terrible. Not terrible. Entertainment, $200 a month. Not terrible. Gifts, $150. That's fine. Rideshare services, $125. That could be a business expense, so maybe that's not the end of the world. Family support, $100, and then subscriptions, $29 with the squiggly S. Spotify, Amazon Prime. What is digit? I feel like I've heard of Digit before. It's some like, I think it's some financial tracker or something like this. We'll find out shortly. But yeah, so my biggest critiques here so far, debt repayment is insanely high. Food is very high. Savings is way too low. So if we could move those around, that would be better. But let's see. Brianna pays $600 a month for a private chef who cooks for her during her off weeks. That was not something I expect. $600 a month. $600 a month isn't terrible though. Especially if they make like an entire week's worth of food, like gourmet quality. Not the worst, but so that's kind of surprising. Unless she gets home and she just doesn't have any time at all, and she's exhausted from her job, then maybe it's money well spent.
Ultimately, I love being able to have someone come and cook for me and prepare all of these things that I'm just too exhausted to do. It works out great.
That might be kind of nice, actually. If someone just comes in, $600 a month, they cook food for you for the entire week, they put it in like the little meal prep stuff, and it's all homemade, it's all like nice and balanced. That could actually be pretty decent. I think that's interesting. She's got life figured out. Look at this. Brianna's able to fly for free since her boyfriend works for an airline. She's got life hacks upon life hacks. Like she gets free housing, makes bank, free flights. Like she gets free flights to go to New York City, back to Georgia. Like, come on. Amazing. $4,000 in credit card debt, not bad. Not bad. She could pay that off in a second. With her income, easy. Oh, that's not, geez, for the amount she was paying there in that 1 month, I expected way worse, I'll be honest with you. But $11,000 for, she could knock that out in like a month. No, maybe like 2 months she'll knock that out. I mean, if her student loans are deferred and she's paying no interest, then I could totally get that. I see that. But I would knock those out. Just don't have any loans at this point. I think that would be the best thing for you.
I read Dave Ramsey's Money Makeover book, and from there I got inspired to get debt-free, but shortly after I discovered an article about the FIRE movement and people retiring in their 30s and 40s.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's the thing. I'll be honest, guys, I really look up to Dave Ramsey. I like him a lot. Now, we do differ in some of our philosophies when it comes to credit cards and mortgages. I think that's fair. But Dave Ramsey serves a very good niche of just the general population and what's good for the average person out there who needs to get their money right. So for Dave Ramsey to serve that purpose, fantastic. She's moved now beyond that into the FIRE movement. Like I said in the beginning, 15 years of just saving all of her money, not spending it. For the rest of her life, she will be set up. So by the age of 40, she could retire early. She'll have enough to do whatever she wants to. She could have her own kids and then charge herself.
I've just made it my mission to max out $19,500 because I really want to retire early and I want to retire where I have income coming in and that I'm set financially. And so just realizing a lot of people my age don't have that, and even seeing where my parents are at now, I'm trying to put myself in a better position. Fantastic idea, and I would argue for her, I think the 401k is I think that's the right choice for her because she's making really good money now. I don't think, unless she just gets really insanely lucky with Tesla call options, she's not going to be pulling in this in retirement. So most likely, take the 401k, use that write-off up front, retire in a lower tax bracket. I think that's the right choice. But 19.5, I don't think is enough with this income. I think you should be saving at least 60-70% of your income after tax should be saved. 100%, all of it invested. I'd love to continue in this career for at least the next 10 years. I know my family in New York is hoping that I'll stay until their child is 18, so we'll have to see about that. But I love what I do, and I love kind of the freedom that it allows me to have. I would say wait until the kid's 18, retire. Have that be your retirement date. I would do that because you got a fantastic family. That is some of the best job security you're ever going to get. They don't want to change people around in their child's life. They're obviously wealthy. They could afford it. You got your housing covered. When that kid is 18 is the day you retire. So that's what I would do. Just bank everything until then, and then when he's 18, just enjoy your time in Hawaii. Just relax, take it easy, and then you make a blog talking about financial independence, and then that blog will make millions of dollars a year. That's what usually ends up happening. Often I feel like the career as a nanny is undervalued and often underpaid as well. Even myself, I started off making $400 a month, like total. And so I wanted to show that there is another way to make money and that there are positions out there for people who are truly interested in kids and love what they do.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But my biggest problem here is she's making $175. Let's say she's getting after tax $120. So she's making $120 after tax. Then let's say her other expenses add up to, let's say, like $3,500 a month. That's $42,000, 120 minus $42,000. So she should be saving $78,000 a year after tax. Potentially even more if she's using $19,500 of that as a 401k contribution. So I would say, unless you're saving $78,000 a year, you're doing something wrong, and there's money missing. There's money missing. Some of that might be in the Yeezy. That was a red flag. But overall, you got to be saving more money based on no housing expense, no travel expense, fantastic income, bonuses, the potential to increase your income over time, $78,000 a year. Do that for 10 years. Invest all of it. You'll have enough to retire on. 100%, maybe even like 15 years, you're going to be set for life. So that's honestly my only recommendation. But besides that, fantastic work. She's so smart. Goes to show you that there are so many different ways out there to make money. And look at this, a nanny is one of them. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily. So if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there, as in the podcast, The Iced Coffee Hour. New episodes being posted every single Sunday. And last, if you guys want those 4 free stocks, like I said, use the link down below. Webull is going to be giving you 4 free stocks when you deposit $100 on the platform, and those stocks can be worth all the way up to $1,600. So if you want free stocks, use the link down below. Let me know which ones you get. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.